Okay, could you please repeat that?
Overflow!
Yeah.
So, Julio, where are you from?
Julio is from the deep south, Antarctica, somewhere in Africa. Mostly in the Congo.
Got it. Antarctica, Africa.
Congo.
It would have been even better.
Sorry, Antarctica, Congo, Africa.
Would have been even better if he had been like Colombia, Africa.
Well, honestly, no, it's very similar. Antarctica, Congo, in Africa is kind of similar to Canada, USA.
Yeah, we're like neighbors.
Yeah, like we are, the way we're part of the United States, they're part of Africa.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a cultural exchange in another country.
Now, grandfather, he is from Egypt, from Colombia, North America, Arctic. Best friends of you know who.
Okay.
Jennifer Love Hewitt?
No, Santa Claus.
Oh.
I was not aware that we were not allowed to name Santa Claus. You know who? Voldemort?
Grandfather always gets the elves to roll him very nice tobacco, cigars.
Jesus.
You know cousin Jose? How is Jose?
You mean Jesus?
Hey, that's his middle name.
Jose Jesus.
He doesn't like the middle name so much. His mother always calls him that all the time. He's just like, oh, Jesus. And just like, run.
Oh God.
No, that's my other cousin.
Your cousin God?
Yes.
Yeah, only unfortunately that's his last name.
So,
What's his first name?
Roger.
Roger God.
He wears nice plaids and nice picket fence, but he doesn't like to cut his lawn. He always gets my brother to do it.
He sounds like a movie reviewer.
I know.
Roger God.
Wow. Siskel, Ebert, and God. Give it three thumbs up.
He's as many thumbs as he wants. He's God. Oh.
No, it's 4. He has hands on all 4 appendages.
Is he a monkey?
No, he just didn't want feet anymore. He wanted to do pull-ups from the bottom down.
He just stands on a pull-up. Yes, it stands.
He wanted to work on his deep throating game.
What?
He wanted the woman standing so he could deep throat her upside down.
That's
Okay.
there's a lot of imagery there, and it's all conflicting.
There's so much to unpack in this.
Oh my God!
There's stuff to unpack? Maybe you need more boxes.
No, we need less boxes. We're unpacking it.
We need to empty more of these boxes.
Oh. You know what's funny? I think I had topics for the overflow tonight, and I completely forgot.
Oh my God.
Julio does that. Brain and turns it around, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Why am I here?" Doesn't matter. It's funny.
So the funniest thing is that I have this theory that he just hatched into existence.
That's how fruit flies exist. Science has been trying to figure it out, but
Julio flies.
Right. I did what? I didn't know they were named after you.
Yes, just like this Dr. Julio. There's no Dr. Julio. It's just Julio. We had to explain to Benji several times.
It's just like you shouldn't call it. It's just like you shouldn't call it to his cousin God. He does not take it very. If you're gonna have to say some sort of expression, it has to be "Oh Julio."
Oh Julio.
Well, Julio understood that you couldn't have the anthem after Julio. Julio didn't want that. He didn't want that much fame. Julio is not all about Julio. Julio likes to sit back, relax with tequila. You say, "Oh, thank tequila."
What do you thank it for?
Oh, the worms.
Oh.
Does tequila create the worms?
I think it works in the same way as the fruit flies. The
Yeah.
Julio flies.
They just pop into existence. Oh, I think I'm getting way too tired from all the laughing. You might have actually just...
Have I broken you yet? No, I could bring in my best friend Q.
Well, like, you haven't broken me. I think I'm just, like, so tired.
Oh, now you've tempted me. I must break you now. I'll bring in Q.
Takes a lot to break me, trust me.
Oh. I was not expecting to be that much of a laugh riot.
Yeah. I got a bit of a headache, actually.
All of a sudden, I'm going to call, you have to come back. You have to come back. I got so many likes. He's like, fine.
I'm down with that. This was fantastic.
Plus,
if I had done the Russian episode today,
plus, we regularly need to change up what I say after I introduce Ben at the beginning. I've decided that now I'm doing a basically, and as always, gag.
You need an improv, like intro and outro?
Yeah, I improv.
Yeah.
But what he means is because every week since Token has left, it has been the first week was, and that's all there's ever been, or whatever.
Yeah, it was and as always,
tokens in for like actual game prizes. They have no monetary value, unlike Julio.
They're not tokens, they're tickets. You got those wrong.
You don't get tickets, you get tokens. Change tokens in for prizes.
No,
you use tickets, they burn.
Yeah, what?
That's fascinating to watch on the.
I'm occasionally watching the sound waves go.
But when you're bouncing that bottle, all I see is.
Don't find me, it's just Julio, trying to unpack things, just filling more boxes.
Oh, my God. Fuck.
Where is Julio's cousin? Why do you keep saying that?
You ever seen Orgasmo?
Yes.
Jesus, where?
Mary, over there.
Yeah.
Dear Joseph, hi.
Oh, I hurt.
Well, if you nut, the blue balls go away.
I nut. I know.
I nut.
Oh.
Grabs pedals. Clear.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't fucking have a topic. God damn it, Julio.
So back to my theory on why he just popped into existence.
Oh yeah, go for it.
We're in college, and I've literally been at the college for like a whole year, and I have never seen him in my life. And all of a sudden, all my friends, when he comes walking up, are just like, "Oh, hey, Ryan," and even I'm like, "Oh, hi, Ryan, how's it going?" or whatever, as if he just has always been there. And then we all tried to and then the one day our friend Matt was just like, "This is my theory," and then he tells me this theory, and I'm like, "I can take it even further. I just completely like when he showed up, I knew I didn't know him, but yet I thought I knew him. Like, and he was like, exactly. He just came to be. Like,
If you really want to know the real theory, you'll have to subscribe to the next episode. We will explore the theory of how Ryan came into existence. Psst, it's like the Borg.
Sagrif, we're not allowed to use the person outside their character name. So every time he said his name, please just superimpose Julio in there.
Yeah, no. This is the Overflow. I'm off the clock, guys.
Yes, boss. I'll get that out right now.
You know what? Say Julio a couple of times so he has some stuff.
Julio.
Perfect.
fantastic. What I love is that when I said his name earlier, it just superimposed one of those on.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He's so good. I love your impression of Sagrif. It is not Sagrif in any regard. Okay, boss. Like he's like a scared, squeaky voiced teen or something.
I'm the editor. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, boss. I'll get to it right now. It's I get paid by peanuts.
Like,
Please subscribe to the Patreon.
Why do I feel like I'm being attacked right now?
Sagrif is probably a lot more.
Nah.
I hate you guys so much.
First thing you've said I've agreed with.
See, that's too many words.
Unless he's being Bigfoot.
Yeah. No, that was his cousin.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Chewbacca? Yeah, second cousin twice removed. Julio learned Wookiee, but it's really hard on the tongue. To really get in the back part, and you like almost spit all the time.
You have fucking tears in your eyes. That is my favorite part. Is you build up
Julio
tears
has
here.
broken Benji
so
in.
good.
He has spent years kneading him and massaging his brain to absorb Julio. Julio will do that to you. He will take off your brain and then you'll just massage it slowly. And then he'll.
I heard braid. like I had several braids in my hair. He's like, Julio will take off your braid. This is a very elaborate knot.
Take off your braid and massage it.
The eyeballs would be rubbed with the thumbs all the way around.
I haven't had a good eyeball rub for a long, long time.
Talk about nutting, right?
Yes.
You may have a little pink eye afterwards. Don't worry, it'll go away.
Oh, I always have pink eye.
That's my secret.
That's my secret, Cap. I always have pink eye.
My eyes hurt from crying. It's so good.
God, I'm probably gonna need some water soon. Oh God!
This has only been going on for 13 minutes.
Is it only 13 minutes?
It's only been 13.
It feels like it's been on forever.
Yeah.
Yes, Julio is that good.
We gotta do this more often.
Yes, you know you want Julio more.
You know, Julio, can you give me your analysis of some of the modern Pokemon?
The modern Pokemon? Julio does not know of the modern Pokemon other than like one of the lion ones from the Shield of Swords and the Swords of Shields.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that one, which is decent because they look like Pokemon and is Pokemon, the last one Julio knows of is like the island one where he took all the 150 Pokemon and made them different and shiny. Julio likes idea, but at the exact same time, Julio just like, you added 150 to already 900 or 1,080 more Pokemon. Why do you need that many Pokemon? Why?
The answer
Do
is
you like have a collection process? Look at what Julio sees 3 shelves of all the toys back there. Like, how many more Sailor Moon things do you need?
I don't think there's a single Sailor Moon back there.
What are you talking about? You have Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, the one that's not a planet anymore. You have all the moons of Jupiter, all the moons of Saturn. You have the gay one as well, with the giant baton. You even have the baby one.
What the fuck?
And you have Julio's one as well, with the mask and the top hat.
What?
You have the 2 kitty ones, the white and the purple one, which is perfectly good. I think you're only missing out of the set is like the first evil witch one, which was like the hottest one to get. She's worth like $1 million. I know that for sure.
What killed me was the what is that a play? And then he just keeps going. And your look of confusion as you're like, what?
I'm like,
Julio has loaded 2 shots in the shotgun, aims it at Benji. Benji is now dead. Congratulations, Julio has won.
like, my brain was trying to be like, so which character made him start on this tangent? And I couldn't figure it out at all.
It's funny because I checked back being like, what is he on him? And then I like stare at it and I'm like, I don't see a single thing.
He's looking at my pop vinyl shelf. That's if we had a YouTube channel, that would be in the background.
Totally. Especially after this.
Just photoshopped it 4 more times over. Just flip them around. Invert some of the colors.
We just got a green screen.
You don't need a green screen. You just Photoshop to get one picture. Blah, blah, blah.
No, I mean for the green screen. We just put the green screen and just adds 3 more. Oh my god. So I gotta ask, which
also,
one?
Julio doesn't understand. They're supposed to be called soda figurines, not pop. They're American. They're supposed to be the soda ones, aren't they not?
Oh, we're from Canada Town, USA, Middle Dakota. We
We really adopt the Canadian traditions.
every now and then I'll call them soft drink pops.
Yeah. Soft drink vinyls.
Oh, you mean the Dr. Pepper ones? Yes.
Well, we could be from the South where everything's a Coke.
I'll take 2 lines, please.
I'll take 2 Coke. What kind?
Lines.
Coke.
That was my favorite thing when I was in Texas. Everybody's fixing something and everything is a Coke.
Everyone's fixing something?
Yep, let me fix you up a sandwich.
Oh, I see.
You look like you're fixing to do something.
Can you use metric instead of imperial, please?
We can't fix that.
I remember seeing a Facebook picture once where someone be like, "Oh, it's really simple. I like to use this way in order to remember that this is our system for figuring out miles." And it's like, in Canada, this many clicks is this many clicks.
Yeah.
The rule of 1,000. It's not that hard. Just add a 0 every single time.
Yeah.
We have to change it from 16 to 8 to 1 to 12 to another, 36, and then continue on.
Oh, he's speaking Wookiee again.
And then that was like Jewish Klingon.
Did anyone else picture Spock with a yarmulke?
That's not Klingon!
Oh, fuck!
That's Vulcan!
Fuck! I always get those confused.
They wear turbans.
Wow.
The Jewish Klingons, their women are nasty. They will go up to you and bite your face. And then you are theirs. Permanently.
They mark you with a rather horrible gashing bite on your face.
Now all I can think is some Jewish woman, some Jewish Klingon woman doing that, and be like, "Now who wants you?"
No one wants you.
Your babies are mine, only mine.
Oh,
Your mother will love me.
What a schmuck.
all right. Because I'm really curious to see his perception of modern Pokemon.
Oh, God.
Can you bring up some random modern Pokemon and show him and see his
I will
reaction?
not probably know any of these monkeys.
No, that's the point. Is you're gonna see them.
Are they gonna be like the monkey that has the extra hand on his tail that's just added to his freaking?
No, I love Apom. Apom was
He was
Gen
one
2.
of the ones where it was perfectly fine. But
Actually,
some of them are
What's
crappy Pokemon.
really cool, Apom, along with the Pokemon Donphin, were both shown before Gen 2 existed. Because...
So that...
Oh yeah, I know him. Yeah, that was actually a good version of a Pokemon that I liked, because that was a good monkey version that was a grass type that was integrated very well.
I have a better way of doing this.
That's Grookey.
But don't do the main three that they show up every single once, because the main first three are always done very well. It's always within the 100 or 150 the new ones that they do, that I will always find what is with the shield? What is with the sword? Those are useless fucking Pokemon.
That is because they're trying to represent a different country each time. So the newest Sword and Shield...
pick fucking animals from that country and make fucking Pokemon. It's not hard! You make versions of the armadillo that look not like Sandslash.
Yeah.
It's not hard. You make new snake Pokemon. There's not a whole lot of bug Pokemon that are tarantulas or I don't know, mosquitoes.
I actually think there's a fair amount now.
Let's try this one.
I don't know this giant piece of coal that you are showing me.
He said coal, not crap.
Yeah. All right. Let's try its evolution.
The reason the main three are usually so well done, as I recently found out, when they're making those the starter three, they start backwards. So they start with the ending, and they want you to be surprised by the ending.
Okay, that one looks a little bit more finished, but I still don't understand if that's a turtle or a giant heap of coal that's on fire. That looks like it's supposed to be
yes.
It's supposed to look like it's its own standalone Pokemon and not having any evolvation, sort of like a Taurus. So, if that itself was its own Pokemon, that would be fine. The one before it's not a Pokemon. That's a giant fucking rock with, for no artwork standpoint. And I'm a graphic designer.
Oh!
Yeah. So I look at that, I'm like, what piece of crap did you not design very well?
Believe it or not, I didn't. I'm not a graphic designer, but I took a year of graphic design, so I do have a good viewpoint of it.
Okay, that looks like a boss, and it looks like the evolve state of the one I just saw before.
Yes.
Evolution. Was that the word you're looking for?
My brain can't word very good sometimes.
That looks like the evolution.
I devolve my brain to do Julio. Leave me alone. It does look decent for that.
It's called a Gigantamax form.
It does look like a mega version, and it does look really good and designed very well. But the first Pokemon I saw that was a giant rock with 4 little rocks, it's not a Pokemon.
Well, considering Ghastly is just a ball.
Yeah, but Ghastly, there's a difference to him because at the very beginning they were dealing with limited area of what they could do for pixels. Versus now, you have a lot more tools, so you should see higher quality, not crap.
That's fair, if, unfortunately, that's not the case. Because, we have better technology, but the company that makes it is running on the same number of staff. Yeah. No, same number of staff.
Oh, really?
Because the Pokemon company... gains all the money as long as Nintendo. And so Game Freak that makes the game has to have such a minimal staff just so they make money because they get screwed over.
So this one it looks like he's unfinished. Like I like the concept of the flatworm, but his eyes got to go. His mouth's got to be like a pincer or something because it looks just like an unfinished Pokemon. That's what it looked like. Right. Like I like the flatworm idea, but you have to add more to the eyes and you have to sell it to me more as like an actual creature. Because if you just put a crappy, that's a little bit better. Like again, standalone Pokemon, if you just have that's a lot more finished. That works because those are extended out. If the previous one had less fire, the same amount of legs, simpler circles, and was smaller, so about the size of a Weedle, I will give you that. That's a Pokemon.
So
because that has more detail.
Just so everybody knows, I showed him a Sizzlipede and then put a Centiskorch in front of him, and now the Centiskorch is what he's commenting on as being finished.
See, I actually almost have to disagree. The simplicity design, to me, actually works a lot better.
So you are correct. The simplicity design works, but you can't simplify it so that when you take it to an extent to where that Pokemon looks, say, well, I've grown out all the flaming stuff and it now looks a lot better. You can't go from so I'll give you a good example. Weedle has horns on the top of his front end and back end. So when you go to a bee form, you get pincers. You have no flame whatsoever in that first sort of elongated flatworm version. So you can't tell if it's a fire Pokemon whatsoever. There's no translation between flame from start until you see the end of the finish.
Well, there are a lot of fire Pokemon that don't look like fire.
Yeah, but they have you have relevance. I have the list here.
Now, the other question, though, I have for you is, if that's your perspective, how do you feel about the Remoraid Octillery evolution?
I do not know of what you speak of.
This evolution pisses me off for the very reason...
Here's a good version of like what I mean by like simplified flame. Like I selected him because this pig version is a fighting type. I don't know what his name is. Will you give me my name? God damn you. No. But like that's a good simplified version of like a finished Pokemon, and then his evolved version afterwards. You get where the flame starts off. It looks, it moves from one side to the other.
This is a Remoraid.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I know that Pokemon because it came out in Silver or Gold,
which is Gen 2.
But that one, I don't know, did it evolve?
It evolves.
It evolves into something
the Manta Ray thing?
Nope.
It evolves into something really crazy.
As I remember. Oh, yeah, it was that one that was not supposed to evolve into an octopus. It didn't have, which didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, so there is a reason for it. I still hate the reason, but the reason is that Remoraid is supposed to be a gun, and Octillery is a cannon.
Oh, well, yeah. If you do relevance to relevance, if they were using it for like battleships in Gold and Silver, it makes a little bit more sense. But because there's no relevance whatsoever, and it's sort of like getting a buttload of Tentacool, and then it doesn't evolve into Tentacruel, it evolves into like Magmar. You go, this doesn't compute.
Yeah, right? Like, it's such a weird... to me, it was the one that I hated the most, just because it didn't make sense. Like, the whole thing with Magikarp and Gyarados, at least Magikarp's face and facial features still match what Gyarados has in facial features,
so
too.
So Magikarp's the one kind of, like, exception to the rule, because Gyarados was one of these one of these Pokemon from the original 150 that everybody wanted, but it was, well, we have to give him like a really crappy Pokemon to get this really good evolved Pokemon. We'll give you a Magikarp, which is still a water, which craps out as you only get Splash. If you're lucky, you maybe get Tackle, but you only get Splash. and you're grinding to evolve that thing to get Gyarados. So I get if you're trying to go that route where Magikarp, it looks like a fully crappy, Pokemon. It still looks fleshed out because it's a fish, and you can tell it's like an over-exaggerated koi fish to get a sea dragon. That makes sense to me. But
well, there is a lore behind it, but my point wasn't that it didn't look like Gyarados. It's that it does have features that look like Gyarados.
Yes, because the
like it has the whiskers, the same lips,
and the fins,
crown.
The fins will go through it, and the eyes will change a little bit different. But like you get some of the simple drawings in Magikarp translate to Gyarados with more detail added to it. But the premise at the end of the day for Gyarados was more along the lines of we wanted to give you like a Magikarp that was a crap fish, so you can like spend time grinding it to get a really awesome dragon.
Do you know actually the lore behind that?
No.
It's an old tale in Japan where a salmon climbs up a ridiculously high waterfall up into the cliffs, and once it goes over the top of the waterfall, it becomes a dragon.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so that's where the myth behind Gyarados and Magikarp come from. Sorry, I think it might have been an actual carp fish. I'm not quite sure on that one.
Like,
but
here, I'll give you two examples of, like, two Pokemon that didn't need to exist. Like, these are two fighting Pokemon that are before Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. They really didn't need to exist whatsoever.
That's not a pre-Hitmonlee. That's Sideways.
That's Hitmontop.
Well,
there's 3 evolutions for Tyrogue. So the first one you showed was Tyrogue.
Oh.
And Tyrogue can evolve into that, Hitmonlee, or Hitmonchan.
I thought that was, like, his miniature version of Hitmonlee.
No.
No,
But
no.
that was my thing. It's like, you looked like you were trying to, like, take certain aspects from older Pokemon that were standalone, like Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, and apply them to make them, like, newer Pokemon that you would get interested into, but didn't look like they were finished, didn't look like they were great ideas.
See, I liked Hitmontop. I thought it was a cool addition, because it was supposed to be Capoeira.
So Hitmontop,
I think.
Hitmontop is a great idea for me, from my perspective, is like, it looked like a great idea as a beginning before Hitmonlee. Like, you get Hitmontop to evolve him into Hitmonlee, because it would be like an evolutionary form that you didn't see before, because that's what all the 150 ones were for, because there was very little, Pokemon, like, Pikachu's a good example. Like, you over-exaggerated Pikachu's evolution, where you caught Pikachu, and then you used a Thunderstone to get Raichu. Then you went to get, what was it? It was Pichu, and then there was the positive and negative versions.
Oh, Puzzle and Minoon.
Yeah.
But those aren't Pikachus.
They're not?
They're not related to Pikachu at all.
Not in the evolutionary chain?
No, they are their own Pokemon.
Okay.
They, like, those were there's a period of time when they're always trying to make a new Pikachu.
Yeah.
Pichu is not meant to be finished at all, because it's a baby Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like...
it's like Togepi is own standard evolutionary without any evolving.
Exactly. Like, Pichu does evolve into Pikachu, but the point I'm getting at is that baby Pokemon are supposed to have that really unfinished aesthetic that you don't like, because they're supposed to be that infant-based.
I feel that because Pokemon when I was young, Pokemon and Digimon were around the exact same time, and Digimon always did that whole entire thing where you had the baby, and then they had an evolutionary step every single step of the way. And Pokemon in the later games and the later series started to take into that effect with Digimon, where they go, let's create the baby versions of those and see how they go, because most Japanese games run that whole entire collect everything. And to me, it's fine. It's like, I'm not bashing it. If you like that, go for it. I'm not against creating new different art for anything, but to me, it's just, I don't need to collect 1,000, what's the number?
It's like
800.
830.
830.
I don't need to collect like 430 Pokemon that really don't need to be trained into level 100, because that takes a lot of time.
Well, in a way, if you think about it, you don't. The Pokedex literally is designed that you only have to see that Pokemon. You don't have to evolve it, because in later parts of those games, you can usually catch the evolved versions of those Pokemon.
But I come from the premise from 150 to...
I'm talking 150.
No, but what I meant was, like, from the originals to Gold and Silver is the premise was to evolve and get, like, all of the Pokemon up to, like, 100. Like, the whole entire thing was to battle them, and during my time when we were running the cartridges... I don't know if they're still running cartridges anymore. The old, like, Game Boy cartridges was to get almost every single Pokemon that you could up to 100, as well as all the stats. And it was a grind to get, I think, 70... I think 65. I'll go with 65. I think it took me a long time to get 65 Pokemon up to 100 to do all of the rare candy runs and get all the potions and get all the stuff. And after a while, after, like, 3 years of running the game, and I still love it. Like, still love the game. Love Mew, love Mewtwo, love all the legendaries and the whatnot. And even the battle sections, the grind got to a point where I was just like, I can't do it anymore.
See, it's funny because I feel like that's not necessarily the way
it's done anymore.
Well, I don't even think it was supposed to be. I think that's just one way that someone could play the game. Like, because the main point of the game is you build your best team. Yeah. Fill your Pokedex, so you've seen every Pokemon. Yeah. And then you finish your, you beat the Elite Four, and then you catch the Legendary. Yeah. And that is what Pokemon's main theme is. Trying to level 100 every single one of your Pokemon is that's just insane, even from the 150.
Oh yeah, but that was my premise. Like, I know their original one was just to go through the game once, clear the whole entire thing, and then restart, blank slate, do it all over again, because you're still gonna have that fun. But I do know that with this Pokemon game, the undetermined or I can't remember the goddamn word. The effect that was not supposed to happen was that majority of North American kids that got the game took it to a completionist state rather than enjoy it for fun. So they took it to a point where we need to get Mew, we need to get her at, like, maximum stats, we need to get her to level 100, and then somehow, I don't think a lot of people did this. I think only like a handful of people did this. Take their Pokemon from the original Red, Blue, that was Mew, that was traded to them, or Mewtwo that was traded to them or caught, from their original games up to their modern ones, and now, what is Shiny still like a thing? And
Shiny has always been a thing.
Well, now it's to breed Shiny and get, like, all the shiny stuff up.
See, those are like just gameplay styles that more competitive players, I'd say.
Oh,
not competitive, but like
completionist is what I call for it, because
not quite. I wouldn't call it completionist because that implies there's 100%. This is more like...
But by completionist, I mean, like, you have to get every single Pokemon and get to, like completionist as, like, 100% complete everything. Not, like, just finish the game, not enjoy the game. And
that's what
it's more along the lines of, you have to catch every single Pokemon, you have to evolve every single Pokemon, you have to get every single Pokemon up to level 100. That's what I mean by completion.
Yeah, see, that's my point, is, like, there is no completionism for that.
Oh, okay.
Like, what I mean is those things don't add to a percentage.
Yeah.
It's just things that you want to do type of thing. Like, I would almost call them power players.
Yes.
Because they want to be perfect.
Yeah, that's what I mean by completionist. These are like these are completionist players that, in a sense of, like, nowadays, Fallout 3 or the bar that says that you've gotten all the medals for this game, you've combed through every single thing. You've done the most difficult death march thing whatsoever. Like, those are the players I'm talking about for these Pokemon. There's not a whole lot of them. I find that the Pokemon community is very chill and they love the new Pokemons that come out. But I just look at some of the ones that come out and was like, this art doesn't look so good. Like, here's a perfectly good example. I get that this is a legendary Pokemon, but what the heck is this?
20%. So this Pokemon is supposed to look unfinished because it's at a certain percentage, and then if it goes up by certain percentages of how much it's done. So, like, if you look at the other versions of it, you'll see 50%, and then you'll see complete.
Oh. Yeah, like I was just looking at this, I was like, how is this a Pokemon? I don't understand.
That is actually a really cool Pokemon. So the Pokemon is the sword.
Yeah, the two swords, yeah.
And the hand can, like... is that the one that evolves into the sword and shield?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the sword, it becomes a sword and shield, and it uses its own sword body to attack.
Yeah, I figured as much.
It's actually a pretty popular Pokemon, I think.
Yeah.
I figured that some of the ones that I copped out, like some of them have really good abilities, but like I went through the whole entire list of 850 and narrowed it down to 350 that I liked from like all the seasons and
seasons.
Versions of the game. I'm sorry.
No, I just like thinking about the anime. I believe you'd be referring to them as generations.
Yes. But I know this one has like 3 different forms, but this one was like one of these I don't know. This looks like an alien Pokemon to me, which is like pretty decent.
Deoxys.
But
I believe that is the point of it, right?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I actually don't know a lot past Gen 3 because that's kind of when I copped out, but
it was from Generation 3.
Oh, Deoxys is I'll be honest, I don't know a lot.
But it has different
2,
forms, like the form you just saw.
Oh, he just said that.
Yeah, it has 3 different forms or 4 different
Oh,
forms.
that's right. It's a DNA-based Pokemon, so I think it was, like, created, and that's why its arms and limbs look like DNA strands.
Yeah. Now, given I like some of these newer Pokemons that look heftier, which is really, really great because I haven't seen a whole lot of the Series 3 ones. They don't play with heft so much as they used to do. Like Venusaur was a really big Pokemon that looked huge from the original 3. But then you had the next 3 that didn't look as big, and then
let's see, that was
Crocodile. It was
Feraligatr.
Yes, Feraligatr. There was, I can't remember its name, but it was like a dinosaur.
Oh, Typhlosion and Bayleaf.
And Bayleaf.
No,
Yes.
Bayleaf is the middle of evolution. Magnesium.
No, it's not magnesium.
No, magnesium is an element.
It was Magnolia, maybe?
No.
No.
It's
So it evolves into Bayleaf, and then it goes into Meganium. Meganium.
Meganium.
Yeah.
Why for some reason I don't remember that name.
Because you hardly ever see the Pokemon. And it doesn't
Chikorita
look
was
that big.
Chikorita was the less popular of the 3.
Of the 3, yeah.
In Generation 2. Just like how a lot of people say Bulbasaur was the less popular of the Kanto starters, but I always loved Bulbasaur.
I like Bulbasaur as well.
My point is, like, every time there's a new 3, I always usually end up knowing the final evolution, but
Meganium.
Like, I know the look of it because of essentially, I'm a visual person and it picks up plants very, very easily. But once you get into the other certain variations, like, they didn't do ghost Pokemon very well in the newer ones. Like, I think there's like maybe 2 of the newer ghost Pokemon that look decent to me. I think it was Celebi, like the next one after Mew, like looked like a crap leaf psychic version of Mew, which was not the greatest.
I think that was the idea, but I think it was more supposed to be like a fairy.
Yeah,
like it was a
like you could do a Fey kind of version of a Pokemon, but like it looked like they didn't put a lot of effort to portray the fairy kind of aesthetic, where they could have done just a little bit more. Like you could have added like maybe some type of little bit of butterfly effect between the wings or something along the lines of like adding like Navi energy around it.
See, I disagree. I actually like it because it felt more flora based. Like the idea was it was supposed to be kind of like the idea was that they wanted to obviously have a new Mew, so it was a smaller but very powerful legendary type of thing. But I don't think it was psychic. But like I actually really liked Celebi. I thought
I liked the simplified look of it, exterior of it, but it looked like it did like there's something unfinished about it. That's all it is. It's just something that, other than it being green, needed to have something that said, I am like a leaf psychic. I'm pretty sure it has psychic in it.
Which is funny because it actually has more detail than Mew.
Yeah. But like again, like you said, like some of the simple versions of the older Pokemon work perfectly just because of how it was drawn.
So, for instance,
she had wings.
Oh, I am mistaken because I must have a version where I don't see that wing, but like I don't see the whole entire back of it. That's the reason.
Like all generations have at least one mythical Pokemon, which is what Mew and Celebi were. So, like in Generation 3, there's Deoxys, and then there's Jirachi.
Yeah,
who's like a cute little that thing that just kind of shoots out.
It's kind of like a star.
Yeah.
Yes, I dropped that one because it was like not the greatest type of Pokemon.
And then in Generation 4, there's Manaphy and Fion. So
I had no idea that was legendary.
Yeah, those are another ones I dropped because
those are mythicals.
I'll be on. Or sorry, I didn't know those are mythicals.
There's Darkrai.
I like Darkrai.
Or sorry, Darkrai. That's what it is. And then Shaman, which is like a little grass type Pokemon. Yeah. And then Arceus, which I love is a normal type mythical.
Which is basically God.
Yeah.
Wait, that's the one that's God, right?
Yeah. It emerged from an egg into existence. And then Generation 5 has Victini.
Oh, I did not know Victini was a mythical.
Yeah. Keldeo.
Oh, yeah. Cool thing. So Keldeo is part of a trio of Pokemon that represent the Three Musketeers.
Oh.
And then there's Meloetta and Genesect. Generation 6, Deoncé.
Oh, it's that weird crystal thingy.
Yeah. Hoopa. Volcanion. Generation 7 is Magyarna, Marshadow, Zeraora, and then Meltan and Melmetal, which are the evolution lines.
Yeah.
And then in Generation 8, they only recently came out with this one, and it's Zarude.
Whoa, that Pokemon looks
an angry monkey.
Fucking cool. Bigify it. Oh, man.
Is it a poison?
It's a grass type.
Oh.
It's a
grass dark.
fighting, I think.
Grass dark. I just saw it. Oh my god, that Pokemon looks so cool!
The crazy thing about Generation 8 is how they've invented the whole thing. Like, even with their new releases, like Crown Tundra and stuff like that, they're releasing new legendaries that come with it.
Yeah, now the thing I was going to say about Gen 8, so I was saying it was about different countries?
Yeah.
Gen 8 is Europe.
Oh, okay,
and so a lot of their Pokemon are actually supposed to be very fantasy-based, based on
old European
mythos and stuff like that.
Yes.
So that's why there's a goblin in there as well, which is, for some reason, not a very popular Pokemon. Like, if you didn't like that Pokemon, you would not be alone.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't like that Pokemon, and I thought it was such a cool idea.
That's the premise with some types of running with mythos, is that you get a lot of ugly creatures that you can't beautify really well. And what would be one? A good one would be what was a good one? A good one would be so I'm playing Witcher 3 again for the second time around in a Death March. A good one would be like a drowner, for existence, which is like a seaman that has this would be like a fish-faced blue creature, fins on his face and whatnot, and claws. And to make that kind of like a Pokemon is very kind of difficult to beautify that, really.
Yeah, I wonder if it has to do with looks. Because I think those types of things are just like really cool. Like, there's not really, like, I think the most popular ones are the cool ones.
Yeah.
Do you know who like the most popular Pokemon that isn't Pikachu is?
It's like gotta be Charizard, maybe?
It is.
Yeah.
Charizard is still one of the number one most popular Pokemon out there.
Yeah.
And obviously Pikachu still has popularity because obviously they keep trying to reinvent Pikachu.
Yeah.
It's like reinventing the wheel.
Well, it's not even just that. Eevee has surpassed... So, like, they've been talking... That's why Let's Go Eevee was invented, because they're talking about how Eevee has begun to rival Pikachu's popularity because of the all the different evolution forms.
Yeah, I was just about to say that gimmick would really... Like, I'm not a huge Pokemon fan much anymore, but I still love the evolutions.
Yeah. And then, like, that was my thing with it, is that with 150... with Eevee allowing to evolve into 3 different forms at the time, and then was it 2 extra more after
2 extra more than
2 extra more in Silver and Stone. I was thinking that in the next 3 other games, which didn't actually happen, which I thought would happen, which was instead of having what would you have an electric type or a rock type Pokemon, you use whatever stone, and at a certain level, you could use the stones to evolve the Pokemon, to use a leaf stone on a rock type Pokemon to create like a earth type Pokemon or a leaf type Pokemon, or use a water type Pokemon with an electric type Pokemon, something that would work with another different stone to create a different type of Pokemon.
So you got these weird fusion Pokemon.
Yes.
That's actually really neat. The only problem is they are not Digimon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Digimon is where that kind of comes in. Because Digimon, people often said it was like Pokemon with guns type of thing. And like my favorite Digimon legit just sums up everything Digimon is in a nutshell, which is Gargomon. But the thing about Digimon is each Digimon, even though it seemed like there was an evolutionary chain, it is actually a web.
Yeah.
Because if you played any of the video games or even the original Tamagotchis there,
Yeah.
but I don't think North America ever got the Tamagotchis.
Tamagotchi.
But yeah, so if you ever played the games, your Digimon could evolve into different directions.
2 different trees. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I've actually seen someone evolve their Agumon into an Angemon, and then their Angemon evolve into a Devamon, and like it's. So you just. There's a lot more room for directional
Digimon
evolution.
gave it a lot more room for customization, where Pokemon was like very specific on how the evolutionary
That's partially though based on how they're designed though. Pokemon is designed to be a world with living creatures.
Yeah.
And meanwhile Digimon is a digital realm.
Yeah, like Digimon is more about their It's basically digital evolution is giving your thing change whether they actually look like it or not.
It was one of the reasons why I disliked some of the Pokemon that Pokemon came out with, because some of the Pokemon didn't look like animals, didn't have this kind of like take from nature and then change something a little bit. It was more like, we've created a creature that doesn't look like it belongs anywhere really, but they did take some Pokemon for like some of your evolutionary stuff where, yes, I could see the giant pig standing that looks like a giant volcano man, and it makes a whole bunch of sense for their evolutionary form, but their base form, just like, it looks plain, it doesn't look like it belongs anywhere.
You know what's actually really interesting is a lot of the Pokemon that don't look like they should belong in nature actually don't.
Yeah.
I've been finding out a lot about this, like, for starters, Voltorb and, like, Grimer and Muck and stuff. Their actual origins are based around, like, first off, Voltorb is supposed to be a Pokeball that came to life.
Yeah.
Like, it was electrically charged in some way, so the Pokeball actually came to life. Grimer and Muck are legit sludge that was mutated that came into life. I think the garbage Pokemon is supposed to have a similar story.
Yeah, like Muck, Magnemite to Magneton, they don't look like they come from nature, but the premise for Magnemite to Magneton is for those, though, is that you can kind of get the relevance as them as Pokemon, because as those types of creatures, they don't exist in kind of nature. They exist in factories, where Muck and Grimer, they are living mud and like grime and whatnot. So again, you go, well, if this is a Pokemon, you get like quicksand, and you've made quicksand and quick mud and like sludge pits, like living actual Pokemon, which you kind of place in nature, but
they're mutations. That's the idea.
They are mutations, but you can place them in the areas where they are, and visually it makes sense. Whereas some of the newer Pokemons, visually, I can't place this creature in a volcano. I cannot place this creature in a forest. I cannot place this creature in the ocean, even though it has fins and looks like a fish.
Like, the one I was thinking of is that garbage Pokemon that is literally a garbage bag. It is supposed to be from the Pokemon version that takes place in the United States.
Yeah.
And so the idea was that it was supposed to talk about the pollution and whatnot, and the littering of how the United States is, type of thing. So, like, it does have a place.
Yeah.
So, artificial Pokemon are Voltorb and Electrode, Porygon's entire evolutionary family, Mewtwo, Baltoy, Claydol, Castform, Banette, Trubbish, and Garbodor, which is what you're talking about, and Golett and Galurk.
And apparently there's more.
And it's unknown alphabet of Pokemon.
What? No, that's unknown.
Yeah, that's an artificial Pokemon.
So Trubbish and
No,
Garbodor.
I think unknown is a ancient Pokemon.
And then there's Genesect, which is actually a mythical Pokemon. It was reconstructed from a fossil. So, type Null and Silvally.
Sivali.
Yeah. And then Magearna was created over 500 years ago by human hands. Grimer and Muck, Deoxys was created when it fell from a virus that fell from a meteor. Burmy and Wormadam. Spirit Bomb, Rotom.
Spirit Bomb?
No, Spirit Bomb.
Oh. Spirit
Yeah.
Damn it, Goku, stop creating Pokemon!
And then Rattata and Raticate.
The Alolan ones.
Yeah, all the Alolan ones seem to be created by just different types of issues, like different types of regions.
See, I like the Alola ones if they existed, because they existed on their own island. It made complete sense to change the variation a little bit.
Well, that's just like the Galarian forms, like Galarian, Meowth, and Berserker, and all that stuff. They're all changed based on their place.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why you can't place them, is when you debate the different regions, and the Pokemon's an original one for that era.
Well, no, like, even if you put Raticate and Rattata in, and you create the Alola versions, it makes sense that you would have rats of different regions, as well as Pikachu, when it changes its polarity. And for Alola, it makes sense. But you don't have, like, the original Pikachu and the Alola version. You just have the Alola version. That makes sense to me because, essentially, you're changing the original 150 or 350 that are there to a different polarity to make it, like, add a little spice to it.
Yeah, I don't think that they do use the non-Alolan version of those Pokemon in the area. Do they?
In the games, you can import them.
Oh, okay. So it's not even natural to the region. You have to import them.
Yeah.
You know, the way that ruins environmental problems and ecosystems.
I created a horrible decision. I imported my regular Pikachu, and now they're all running
It's just
around.
like in Sword and Shield, when you go in there, you can catch the Galarian Meowths, which are Steel type, and you catch them, and then if you have two of them, if you have more than one, you can trade them for a Kanto version of the Meowth, and they both evolve into different things. And then later on, if you want, you can import an Alolan one.
See, I was kind of hoping that they would create more, like, bug fighting Pokemon, like, similar to, I'm going to say Scyther, and I can't remember his other one.
Scizor and Scyther and Scizor.
Scyther and Scizor, yes. Like, I wanted to get more variations of those types of Pokemon because there were so few fighting Pokemon at the time, but when they started to create the chicken one as well as the monkey one, which was great, I wanted to see more, like, different bug humanoid Pokemon rather than your standard, oh, here's your butterfly, here's your caterpillar, here's your spider, here's your bee.
I think the problem with that is probably the fact that there aren't too many humanoid styled bugs.
Yeah.
Like Beedrill and Scyther and not Harrisek. Well, Harrisek. Not Heracross, but Pinsir.
Yeah, Pinsir. Yeah.
Like, those Pokemon were a lot easier to sort of build off that humanoid form, like especially Scyther because it was a praying mantis.
Yeah.
Right? So the real question is, how many Pokemon can you really get away with that design and then actually make them look natural?
That's the thing. Like, you have a lot more bugs to play with than you do with regular animals. Like, you could have gone and did a different version of like, you could do 3 different versions of bees. You could have done 3 different versions of spiders. You could have done like Daddy Longlegs was a perfectly good example for a Pokemon, because you could have had him like have essentially 9 legs in 4 different like appendages to have him a really long stretch.
You should show him Genesect. Genesect you'd love. It is the Pokemon you want.
It has different forms.
Ah! The cannon on his back.
Yeah, so as he was saying, it was a mythical Pokemon that they used a fossil to rebuild into a machine. So it is a bug type.
Like, they constantly come out with new Pokemon that do look good, and I do understand the problem that they are facing is that they have to come up with a new game like almost every 2 or 3 years, and create 100 new Pokemon. Like, it's going to be ridiculously hard, and they do a really good job at it.
Not to mention they have, like I said, the company is still extremely small, stretched thin because that's the
It's
only
like
way they
Studio
make money.
Ghibli. Like, you're literally asking maybe 100, maybe 50 people to come up with 100 like good ideas for Pokemon.
Oh, I think it's less. I think it's 12.
12?
Yeah, like I said, they keep it small because they get so little money from the Pokemon, because the Pokemon Company and Nintendo take so much of the money that they barely got anything. So they have to be so small. So when you get like controversies like how the newest one has reused models from the 3DS one, and they claim that they're original models from scratch, they had to do that on purpose because of how little money.
It's always budget. It's always, at the end of the day, like, if you're seeing models reused, it's because of budget. They don't have time to come up with newer versions of what they've already used. It's just easier to do copy-paste.
Yeah, not to mention, the Pokemon Company forces the company to constantly do things in order to make more money.
Yeah.
Like splitting the Pokemon between two games. Each generation, they cut out at least a good 40% of the Pokemon so that they can re-release a third version of the game that has all the Pokemon in it.
Yeah.
So you have to buy it because you now want that thing. And with the newest one, they did the same thing, except they used the DLC as their way to add those missing Pokemon.
I always like that kind of mentality where they come up with two different versions and they leave 50 Pokemon out of each side so that it enforces you to trade with other people. Because that mechanic has always been driven and is really, really good, because it forces you to interact with another person that has Pokemon that you don't have, and it's a great ideology within your game because it means that you have to land and share with other people, which is great. That's your foundation should be for your game. How they do it professionally, I don't like it, but the ideology of it is fundamentally is great.
So the splitting isn't what I'm talking about. Like the splitting, that's mostly fine because they're just trying to sell two games. But what I'm saying is, on top of the two having different things, there's 40% of the Pokemon missing, period.
Yeah, what I was saying is, like, the ideology of it is great. How they're doing it practically is not great at all.
Yeah, like, so when people say, like, Pokemon or Nintendo is an evil corporation, because all corporations are evil, nobody realizes that the Pokemon Company, which is sort of part of Nintendo, but not, is actually way more evil than Nintendo and has more pull, at least when it comes to Pokemon.
Well, I think there was something else where, like, I don't want to say it's Wizards of the Coast, but whoever was running Magic the Gathering and...
That's Wizards.
Wizards of the Coast came up with the idea, I don't know if it was last year or a few years ago, they completely fucked up and brought wokeness to Dungeons & Dragons, and they said, Dark Elves are racists. And I was like, no. Dark Elves, if you look at the whole entire gist of them, they're evil. And they run a matriarchy. That's feminism to a T. So someone didn't open up their monster manual, read about Dark Elves whatsoever, and said, well, Dark Elves are black people. No, they are not. They are not black people.
Well, they are literally black people.
Well, they are dark-skinned in color because they worship a dark god by choice.
Yeah. Like,
it is not because of the color of their skin.
They're not African.
Because in the exact same sense, Duragar have the exact same effect, and they're evil dwarves and live in the Underdark. And so if at the end of the day, if you're not reading your monster manual, your wokeness doesn't add up.
Now, Magic and D&D do have separate continuities.
Yes.
Even though they do follow kind of the same pattern, but they are separate continuities.
Yeah.
That being said, there are various problems with the wokeness side of things, as it occasionally can almost parallel the racist side, just from a different angle.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you guys agreed with me out loud, so I didn't feel alone saying that.
At the end of the day, there's always going to be this racist hate within orcs, elves, and dwarves. But it's the premise of the whole entire stint of the races, because they run different ideologies. But as players, when you play that, it doesn't have to be, all elves hate all orcs, all hate all dwarves, all cycle. It's just how the races are portrayed in general to get the dynamic of the world that you build.
And even then, those are just the basis for the way the game can play.
Yeah.
The minute you get a homebrew, none of that shit has to matter anyway.
No, it doesn't. But my premise for it with almost any single race is always...
None of that shit has to matter anyway.
Yeah.
But my premise with any single freaking race is the exact same stance with everything. Not everybody has to like everybody. You have to treat certain people civilly. You don't have to like them. Like, you can have an asshole human and deal with him left, right, and center, but if he has the nice sword that you really want, I'm going to grit my teeth and smile and pay you whatever price you want to get you that nice sword, and then curse you as soon as I get outside with my nice sword.
Yeah, like it comes down to it that these are just by climatized cultures and everything.
Generalized races of their mentality based on where they're located, what the socialized abilities of what the race is usually stated.
And most of the time, like, dwarves and elves aren't even really at ends with each other. They're just more like disgruntled neighbors.
They're like Americans and Mexicans.
No, that's closer to dwarves and orcs.
No, because they would be more dwarves than elves, because orcs are literally, more from the South American side, or literally living very far at the very end of South America.
You're right, because everyone hates them.
And only when they travel north,
nobody notices them.
And only when they travel north to get into someone else's border or going on a raid is when everyone, both dwarves and elves, hate orcs.
Yeah. And and that's the thing, right? Like, and D&D is still pretty, like, lenient for that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you couldn't create an orc who couldn't get along with other races in this area, then what would be... How would you progress that much in the game?
One of the main rules that when I started playing Dungeons and Dragons, I started to understand that you have to play with other people, and the character that you pick up, you cannot, like, the number one rule is don't be a lone wolf. If you be a lone wolf, you're nuking yourself. Because you need to play with other people.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about that, but that is a very good point. People who are getting ready to play D&D, listen to that, because that is very important.
Because I was playing with the character, like, I'm playing with a new DM, I'm playing with a new player I haven't played before. His character is really weird, very lone wolfish, doesn't want to play well with others, doesn't listen whatsoever. And I'm just at the point, as a player, that I have to, as the player playing the character, have to walk away every single time, because his character will not play nice with my character at all. He will not listen. He will do his own thing. So at the end of the day, if he falls, hits himself, an accident happens to him because he causes the accident, like, I am not the one to, like, clean up the mess. I'm like, walking away, you get to heal yourself, la 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 la.
Yeah.
The potions are in the fridge.
Now, the point I was more getting at was just the world itself. You wouldn't be able to explore if it was all that race and whatnot.
You would have problems left, right, and center. You'd have orcs constantly watching their borders so that no elves and no dwarves come in. And you'd have trade problems because dwarves need to get, like, certain metals from the elves, like, forests, and the elves need certain metals from the dwarves' mountains.
And if the humans didn't fuck everybody, we wouldn't have half races.
Well, no, it's more along the lines of the main races fucking humans, because do you really think a female orc is gonna fuck a male human?
Yes. You would be absolutely shocked. It's very common.
Very common.
Now I have to ask Ben. You've like giggled several times in the middle of this. I'm curious what's on your mind.
No, when he said go single-handedly, the first time I ever played D&D was with my friends, and they had already had a campaign happening. So they just kind of threw me into this game with like a character that they invented on their own. And I just remember being with they had given me a flaming axe, and he was like, the DM that I was playing with was like, okay, well, you'll get some gold later or whatever. And we walked into this room that had gold statues with arms like sticking out. And so I was just like, okay. And I sliced all the arms off with this flaming axe. And he was like, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that way. Like, okay. Like, and so I just had this really like bulky characters that was able to carry all these golden arms and stuff. And I was just like, well, I got it. It's good.
I was so much sorry. So my second DM, who's still a really good friend of mine, I was playing with him at the Action Pack store that's down on Princess Street, and I adopted a character
Here in Canatown, USA.
and essentially she was an Azamar. She's an angel, fallen angel deity that had completely. So how it was written is she's sort of like a Super Saiyan. She's completely lost her memory. She has a very low intelligence, and she's extremely strong. So
just like a Super Saiyan.
But here's the gimmick: she's all about tattoos all over her body, and it's just a loincloth. Now I have to play this as she is not very intelligent and she's very religious. I play it very well, and I forget that I'm very, very strong. I nearly killed a teammate on my first day, and I didn't really mean to. And then a few days after, they gave me an all-powerful, like, magic stick, and I fooshed 3 of my teammates into another dimension, and my DM had to create a reason to go into that other dimension to bring them back. Normally, it wasn't supposed to be, like, hit, like, 90 in your D100. I hit it 3 times in a row, and I said I was sorry.
So, I want to tell stories about my more esoteric characters, or, sorry, unorthodox characters, because, honestly, I like to roleplay, so that's my thing. But I have a better story. So, one time... we're partying, and we're about to go up against this boss.
Okay.
All right, and so we had one player whose character we generally all didn't like.
Okay.
It was a rat person of some sort.
Did you like the player, at least?
That's a story for another time.
Okay, so now we know what type of player we're dealing with. I understand now.
You asked.
I'm glad you asked. Yeah, we're That's something we talk about later, because that's a little more complicated. But more importantly, so the character. So we find like a godlike being.
Okay.
And we're going up against him, and he asks us to like join him, and we're like, fuck no. And then that player decides to take his offer.
Okay.
And they join up with him, and they're fighting us. And they have a crossbow, and like they shot one of us and everything, and we're like, fuck. And then we not only killed him, but we killed them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we killed him, but it doesn't matter. We killed them.
Was it an evil god or a neutral god? Like, what are we talking about here?
It was based around our campaign, so I'm not 100% sure in what direction.
But he just decided to go, fuck my team, I'm gonna go side with this god and hope that I win.
Here's the funny part. So we killed him.
Yeah.
Well, it's a her, but the character was a him.
We killed him.
Yeah.
We killed him.
So we killed him, right? And then we find out afterwards that she was pretending to join a side and was going to pretend to shoot us and miss and hit him. Then she missed him, shot one of us, we killed him, and then we were like sitting there, you said you made no way of hinting to us that you were going to do this. You made us all hate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the reasons why communication is a very important thing.
Yeah, and here's the funny part. They rolled so high on their bluff that this god being could not figure this out. And we couldn't, so there was no way we could figure this out. So we just fucking killed them. And my character, like I said, already hated this character to begin with.
Yeah.
So he spits on their body and hated them like trash. And
I was being a double-agent.
yeah, like, no, they weren't alive. They couldn't tell us that. We'll never know.
Let's just say I didn't take your head as a trophy.
Yeah. But, like, it was just so funny. And they whined about it, too. They're like, I was tricking him, guys. God, how are we supposed to know?
Like, I say this to every single person. Meta knowledge, even if you don't think should not be played, is an actual thing. As players, you should be using meta knowledge, and you should discuss with the other players, hey, this is how I kind of want to play it, generally speaking, so that there is a direction for how you want to take the story, but there's leeway for a left, center, right field of where the story is generally going to go.
See, I partially disagree. Mostly because it's supposed to be more realistic. You can't really just know something like that. Like, this person should have told the DM, I'm going to try and send them a signal. And then they could have done a sleight of hand check, and that would have been our knowledge.
But that's that meta knowledge I'm talking about. Like, you can generally say, by going to, I'm going to talk to the DM and inform him, this is what I want to do, inform the rest of the players that this is what I kind of want to do. So it's still in that general large area of the right field of, I don't want them to know just yet, but I want them to guess at where I'm generally wanting to go.
See, and that's the thing, is I don't like that. That takes away from the role play, and you do have to find a way to not, like, especially if your party is very the characters are very selfish in themselves, because we had a very selfish party then, but you do have to find a way to keep a glue between yourselves, because unfortunately, an evil campaign, everyone's betraying everyone by the end, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you do have to keep that knowledge outside. You can't just know that, right? Like, it works if you're doing, like, a podcast like this, and you're doing a sort of a role play type of scenario like this, because in which case the narrative will be it's better narratively wise.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. But when you're just playing with a group of friends, the DM legit just has to keep track of everything. Like, that's what makes a good DM. The DM can't be...
I find that some DMs don't keep track 100% of the time, and they're doing a whole bunch of stuff on the fly. And the reasons why I say, like, sometimes you need to use, like, giving meta knowledge to players, but telling the players, play as if your character still doesn't know. You can still kind of do that, but again, if you as yourself as a player don't want that, explain that to the player. The player will then figure it a way as that kind of meta knowledge to explain to you, okay, I have an idea, I want to take it in a certain direction, I don't want to give you too much knowledge, I hope you figure it out. Because that kind of problem where if you were playing with someone that you really liked but wanted to bluff, you then kind of ruined the guy that you were playing with that you liked, not that you really liked him anyway, kind of ruined his kind of time because he rolled high by accident, hit you, and the thing went awry very badly.
Here's the thing. Meta knowledge wouldn't have corrected that. What would have corrected that was saying, hey, let me attempt to get a message out to the players. They would have to probably roll something like a sleight of hand check, for lack of a better term, to give a signal. And then we would have to do an insight check in order to figure out what the signal is.
Yeah.
This would change the dynamic. Then the bluff doesn't affect us because it's a different circumstance. And you also have to be careful that the person that you're trying
bluffing,
to bluff,
which is a giant god of like death.
that's their perception does not see that. So in that scenario, that meta knowledge was not necessary. It's the player being like, okay, I need to do this, this, and this to make sure this happens.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant by meta knowledge.
What I enjoy about this entire thing is that they rolled so high on their bluff and yet missed their target.
Yes.
Like
they had such oddly bad luck. It is hilarious. They were as clumsy in real life as they were in game.
Because the one time my new DM right now is having as bad of a time as my first DM when he ran. My first DM's run a character which I had the hunch right off the hop that he was going to betray us later on, and he did. But he was the worst fucking mage I had ever dealt with. He would run spells like fireball and like lightning, like some sort of lightning spell, but would shoot the bolt 5 feet from his fucking feet every single time. My new DM, we're running a homebrew. His characters are somewhat based on Final Fantasy XIV, as well as some other spells. Has the exact same fucking problem where he would launch spells and he would roll and it would be like 1 or 2. And his like plus to that would be like 9. And he would still shoot giant bolts of lightning or like giant laser beams or missiles 5 feet in front of him. I was like, I am literally trying to survive here, and you're doing nothing.
Fun fact for those who don't know, 1s and 20s critical fails or successes only apply to attacks. They do not apply to any skill rolls in which way. True fact.
Yeah.
So if you roll the 1 on a jump check, that would just be a 1 plus your modifier, and it would not critically fail you immediately.
Yeah.
If you rolled it on an attack, then you would be prone in some way.
I'm going to bring that to an end.
Yes. Well, I was just about to do that.
Yep.
So anyway, that was our show, folks. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Julio wants you to subscribe.